Guys, this is a quick tutorial on how to kind of project your grade, and this works for any of the classes that you're in, basically. I just start with just searching grade calculator, which, by the way, grade calculator is actually just the weighted mean. So if you want to, you could do the same thing on our weighted mean tab in our Google Sheet. But I'm going to use a grade calculator because it has a little added function that helps us to project what we need in our the rest of our grades to kind of to reach the goal that we have. Could do that by ourselves, but this just makes it easier. So, okay. What you do first is you just input the categories and their weights. So here I'm looking at the syllabus. Classwork is 5%, discussions 5, homework 15, exam 1 was 20. And that's all we have so far, right? We haven't done the second exam or the project or the final. So you could click on calculate already right here, and it will tell me my current grade. With these scores that I have input here, it's saying that I have a 79.4, which should actually be, I'd probably rounding up to a B at that point, but basically a C plus or a B minus. Actually, there's no pluses or minuses, so just basically I'd give you a B. But okay, this is actually a skewed picture. So if your grades are displayed on Lamaku, depending on the instructor settings, sometimes they might display, and you might see this and say, okay, I'm doing pretty good, I'm getting a B basically. But this is really not accurate because what happens is if you were to put in the rest of the um, exams, say, and you have a similar percentage. So right now, without these other things, the grades that are in there already are weighted higher than it's showing because it's not accounting for the weight of the remaining things. So if I was to, oh, sorry, I meant to do it like this. If I was to input these other exams and say I have the exact same average score on as the first exam, and watch what happens if I recalculate. So now it's a different score, right? It gives me a different number, different picture of where you really are. And if this number is lower, of course, that gap is actually going to increase. So watch what happens if I take away these guys. Let's say I had a low score in exam one. Okay, still saying this looks like I'm getting a C, right? But if I was to go back and add those back in and have that same exact score on exam two and the final, then actually this is my grade, right? Actually, it's much lower than it looks like. So, yeah, don't really trust those initial weighted means that they show you on Lamaku if it's displayed. In fact, that's why I have it set to not display because it's deceptive. But this kind of gives you an idea of where you are. And then, if you want to know where you really stand, I would suggest adding in the project and kind of just guessing what your grade might be there. Most people will do pretty well on the project and get between 80 and 90, 80 and 100% as long as they like if you're as long as you consult with me about the project and how you're doing along the way, that has a weight of 10%. So let's just estimate 90% of that. Okay, and then what you can do is you can recalculate here, and then from there, there's 45% left in the class, right? That's exam two and the final. And then you can put in the grade that you're seeking for. So let's say I'm seeking for a B at 80%. Hit calculate, and then this will tell you what you need to average on those last two exams. So this says 85% is what I need to average if I'm gonna um if I'm gonna get a 80 for the overall class. And let's say I'm gonna shoot for 90. Then what do I need? Okay, so 90 is actually not possible given that I had this low for an exam one score. I can do the same thing for like 70 and recalculate. So if I wanted to get a C, all I need to do is 62.8 on the remaining exam and final, and I'd pass the class with a C, given this breakdown. But you put in your own individual one based on your scores, right? So you go to um, your grade book, and then you find your averages for each category. So I would put like the classwork percentage right here into this spot right there, etc. Okay, guys, hope that helps with forecasting your grades, not only for our class, but for your other classes as well.